The night was colder than usual, the kind of cold that didn't touch your skin first, it went straight for the heart. I stood outside my small repair shop, the metal shutters half down, my mind full of unfinished thoughts. The world around me was getting quiet, street by street, light by light. Only my phone refused to stay silent. It buzzed again, vibrating so hard against the wooden counter it sounded angry. It was Clara. My wife. For a second, hope flickered inside me, a foolish, fragile hope that maybe tonight she would sound like the woman I once married. The woman who used to hold my hand in crowded places, who used to fall asleep on my shoulder during long movie nights, who used to whisper, "Michael, you're my peace." But the moment I picked up the call, that hope died instantly. Her voice was cold. Sharp. Formal, almost. "Michael," she said, "don't come home tonight. We're having a family dinner. It's important. And you're not needed there." Not needed. The words sliced deep. I tried to steady my voice. "Clara. I'm your husband." "I know," she said, almost impatiently. "But this is a Hartley family affair. You always make things awkward. My mother asked that you stay away. So please, don't come." And before I could breathe, she hung up. Just like that. The streetlights flickered, and for a moment, I wondered if the world could feel what was happening inside me. If the pavement beneath my feet could sense a man losing the last piece of warmth he held onto. I leaned against the shutter, eyes closed, fighting the ache rising inside my chest. I knew Clara's family never loved me. But hearing my own wife say it, hearing her choose them over me, felt like someone was slowly pushing a knife deeper, inch by inch. I don't know how long I stood there, staring at the dark road, replaying her words again and again. Not needed. Stay away. You make things awkward. I wondered when I became a problem in my own home. When did my presence turn into something unwanted? The sky rumbled, warning of rain. I pulled the shutters down and walked toward my old gray car. It coughed alive with the same tiredness I felt inside my bones. I didn't know where I was going, I just drove, letting the road decide for me. 30 minutes later, I found myself near the Hartley estate. The mansion looked like a glowing palace from a distance, its golden light spilling onto the wet driveway. Laughter floated in the air, warm and carefree. Music played softly, the kind of music meant for people who never had to worry about being excluded. I parked far from the gate and stepped out. The wind was cold, carrying the scent of rain and expensive perfume from the party inside. I walked closer until I reached the ballroom windows. And that's when I saw her. Clara. My wife. She looked breathtaking, wearing a silver dress that shimmered under the chandeliers, her smile easy, her posture elegant. She didn't look like the woman who had just told her husband he wasn't needed. She looked like she belonged there. Like she was home. And I was a stranger outside the glass. And then I saw Ethan. Her cousin. He stood close to her. Too close. His hand rested on her lower back in a way that was far from cousin-like. She didn't move his hand. She didn't look uncomfortable. She looked familiar with his touch. My heart twisted into something sharp. The kind of pain that makes your breath disappear. I stepped back into the shadows, my breath shaking. The laughter inside felt like knives scraping against my ears. I had always sensed something between Clara and Ethan, something unsaid, something hidden under polite smiles. But I convinced myself I was imagining it. That insecurity was making me paranoid. But now, watching them together, it wasn't my imagination. It was the truth, unfolding right in front of me. A door opened behind me. Heavy footsteps approached. I turned to see Mr. Hartley, Clara's father, walking out with a glass of wine in his hand. He spotted me instantly. "Oh," he said, his voice dripping with annoyance. "It's you." I didn't speak. "You're not very smart, Michael. When someone tells you you're not invited, normal people listen." He took a sip of wine, eyes never leaving mine. "But you always cling. Like a stain that refuses to wash off." The insult hit harder than it should have. I'd always tried to earn this man's respect. I worked long hours, paid bills, supported Clara. But to him, I was less than nothing. "Why?" I whispered. "Why do you hate me so much? What did I ever do to you?" He smirked. "You exist." My chest tightened. "And my daughter?" I asked. "Does she feel the same?" He laughed, a cruel, empty laugh. "Clara never loved you. She settled for you. A safe, boring choice. A man with no ambition, no charm. A placeholder." His eyes flicked toward Ethan and Clara inside the hall. "She deserves someone like him." My stomach twisted. "Ethan. Oh, Michael, you really were blind, weren't you?" He clapped my shoulder like someone consoling a child. "Go home. Leave her to people of her class." He walked away, humming. I stood there frozen, rain beginning to fall in cold, heavy drops. Each drop hit my skin like a reminder of everything I didn't want to face. My marriage wasn't just dying, it was already dead. I had been living inside a lie, decorating it, feeding it, protecting it, all while it rotted quietly from the inside. "Sir." I turned around. Thomas, the old Hartley family driver, was standing near the black sedan. His eyes were soft, almost apologetic. "Mr. Michael," he said gently. "May I speak with you for a moment?" I nodded numbly. He looked around carefully before stepping closer. "You deserve to know the truth. Nobody here will ever say it to your face." A strange dread settled in my stomach. "What truth?" He hesitated, his hands trembling slightly. "Clara didn't marry you for love, she married you because she was pregnant." My heartbeat stopped. "For months, sir, she hid the child's father. But it wasn't you." He swallowed hard. "It was Ethan." I stepped back, the world tilting. No, she told me she miscarried." "She didn't miscarry naturally," Thomas whispered. "The family arranged everything. They couldn't allow a scandal with Ethan. He was their golden future. So, they made a decision. And once the child was gone, they needed someone to take responsibility. Someone with a clean name. Someone harmless." My hands curled into fists. "Me." He nodded sadly. "You were chosen, sir. Not loved. Chosen. Because you were safe." I shook my head, rain mixing with tears I didn't even feel falling. "That's why they treat me like this," I whispered. "Yes," Thomas whispered. "Because they never intended for you to matter. You were only ever temporary." The ground beneath me felt like it was crumbling. Everything I ever believed in felt like a bad joke. I don't remember how long I stood there. Minutes. Hours. Time didn't feel real anymore. The rain grew heavier, turning the driveway into a sheet of shimmering water. The party inside kept shining, untouched by the storm outside, just like that family was untouched by the storms they caused in other people's lives. Thomas placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. "Sir, please don't stay here. They won't come out to you. They won't choose you. They never did." I wanted to ask him something, why he was telling me this, why he cared, but before I could speak, the mansion doors opened again. Clara stepped outside, holding an umbrella. Ethan followed her, laughing at something she whispered. She looked so alive, so free. Her eyes sparkled, eyes that had grown dull around me in the past year. They didn't see me in the shadows. Their voices carried through the rain. "I'm glad he didn't come," Clara said. "He would have ruined the mood." Ethan chuckled. "He always looks like he's lost. Like he doesn't belong anywhere." She sighed. "Sometimes I wonder why I married him." He leaned closer. "We both know why." My heart twisted painfully. Clara's response was a whisper, but it hit me like thunder. I felt nothing for him. Not then. Not now. Something inside me broke quietly, like glass cracking under pressure. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just the simple, painful collapse of pieces that had been weakened for too long. Ethan offered her his arm. She took it without hesitation, leaning into him with a softness she never showed me anymore. They walked back inside. Thomas looked at me, eyes full of sympathy. "Sir, please leave before they make tonight even more painful." I finally nodded. I walked to my car slowly, each step heavier than the last. My clothes were soaked through, but I didn't care. The rain almost felt comforting, like it was trying to wash away the lies that had been hanging over me for years. I opened the car door, but before sitting inside, I paused and looked back at the mansion. I had spent years trying to be good enough for that family. Working overtime, saving every extra dollar, buying gifts I couldn't afford, dressing in ways they preferred, speaking in tones they approved of. I tried so hard to fit into their world that I forgot I had my own. And for what? For a woman who never loved me. For a family who looked at me like a stain. For a marriage built on lies that weren't even mine. For the first time, I felt anger instead of heartbreak. Not a loud, violent anger. A cold, calm anger, the kind that comes from finally understanding the truth. I sat in my car and rested my head against the steering wheel, breathing deeply. Every memory replayed in my mind, her distant hugs, her polite smiles, her tired excuses, her sudden coldness ever since Ethan returned from abroad. It all made sense now. I wasn't losing Clara. I never truly had her. Something shifted inside me, a quiet voice, stronger than the pain. Walk away. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't weakness. It was survival. With a long breath, I started the engine. The headlights cut through the rain, illuminating the road ahead. I didn't look back as I drove away. I didn't need to. That chapter of my life was already closing behind me, even if the ink was still drying. Tonight, something ended. But something else began. The following days felt strangely peaceful. The silence in my small home no longer felt lonely, it felt honest. For the first time in years, I wasn't pretending. I wasn't waiting for someone to care. I wasn't fighting for a place in a world that didn't want me. I poured myself into my repair shop. Fixed old radios, cleaned broken speakers, repaired clocks that had stopped ticking. Something about repairing things felt therapeutic, as if I was slowly repairing myself too. People noticed the change. I smiled more. I talked more. My hands felt steadier. My chest felt lighter. The absence of Clara's constant disappointment was like removing a heavy stone from my back. Weeks passed. One afternoon, while I was fixing a customer's amplifier, my phone buzzed on the counter. Clara. For a moment, my fingers froze. I let it ring twice before answering, my voice steady. Hello. Her voice was small. Michael, can we talk? I didn't speak. Silence stretched. I've been thinking about us, she said softly. About everything. And I just want to explain. Explain what? My tone was calm. That night. I shouldn't have spoken like that. I shouldn't have. You meant it, I said quietly. All of it. She inhaled sharply, as if the truth stung. I want to fix things, she whispered. Please. Can you come home tonight? Just once. We can talk. Before, I would have rushed to her. I would have begged, apologized, even if I wasn't at fault. But now. I felt nothing. Not anger. Not love. Just clarity. No, Clara, I said gently. We have nothing left to fix. She was silent for a long time. You're just walking away, she whispered. Yes, I replied. For the first time. Clara came to the shop the next day. I saw her standing outside the glass door, looking lost, unsure, almost fragile. The same woman who once spoke to me like I was beneath her now looked like she didn't know where she belonged. She stepped inside, her heels clicking softly against the floor. Michael, she said, her voice trembling. Please, listen to me. I put down my tools and faced her. She seemed different, her confidence cracked, her posture uncertain. For once, she wasn't the Hartley princess. She was just a woman trying to hold onto something slipping away. I made mistakes, she whispered. I was confused, scared, and my family. I raised a hand gently. Don't blame them. You chose them every time. You chose Ethan. You chose the lies. But the one thing you never chose was me. Tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry. I know, I said. And I'd say I forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't mean staying. She closed her eyes tightly, tears sliding down her cheeks. I didn't realize what I was losing. You weren't losing anything, I replied softly. You just never noticed what you had. She looked at me then, really looked at me, as if seeing the men she married for the first time. And she saw something she never expected. I was no longer waiting for her. The truth broke something inside her. She sobbed quietly, then left the shop without another word. I watched her go, not out of heartbreak, but out of acceptance. Sometimes people only realize your worth when you finally stop offering it. That night, I looked at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. My eyes looked clearer. My shoulders straighter. My heart, lighter. Walking away didn't feel like losing. It felt like freedom. Months passed. The seasons changed. Life moved forward in quiet, steady rhythms. I focused on my shop, expanded it a little, added a few new services. People trusted me. They appreciated my honesty. They liked the way I listened. The way I fixed things like I cared. And maybe I did care about giving others what I never received. One evening, I was closing the shop when Thomas, the old driver, walked in. He looked older than before, his back slightly bent, his eyes filled with memories. "I hope I'm not disturbing," he said. "Never," I replied warmly. "Come in." He sat down, his hands resting on his knees. "I wanted to check on you. After everything." "I'm doing better," I said with a small smile. "Much better." "I'm glad," he whispered. "You deserved peace. I only ever told you the truth because I knew they would never let you find it yourself." "I'm grateful," I said quietly. "You saved me from a life that wasn't mine." He nodded, eyes wet. "I served that family 40 years, Mr. Michael. And in those 40 years, I learned one thing: wealth doesn't make people kind. It just gives them more power to hide their cruelty." I didn't know what to say. So I just sat with him. After a long pause, he spoke again. "Clara left the mansion. She's been living alone for months. I think she regrets everything." I inhaled slowly. "Regret doesn't erase the truth." "No," he agreed. "But sometimes it teaches." He stood up to leave and placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. "Take care of your heart, sir. It's rare to have one that pure." After he left, I sat alone in the quiet shop, feeling strangely at peace. Some people enter your life to break you. Others enter to show you the truth. And a few help you heal. A year passed since the night my world fell apart. But strangely, it was also the year I finally found myself. I moved into a slightly bigger home, repainted the walls, bought a new sofa, started reading again. I even adopted a small dog, a quiet brown creature who followed me everywhere, as if he sensed the emptiness I used to carry. People said I looked younger, lighter, happier. One morning, while walking my dog near the river, I saw Clara. She was standing alone, staring at the water, her hair tied loosely, her face pale. When she turned and saw me, her breath caught. "Michael," her voice broke. "You look different." "I feel different," I said calmly. She nodded slowly. "I heard about your shop. People say you've built something amazing." "I'm trying," I said with a hint of a smile. A sad smile touched her lips. "You always tried. I just never saw it." Silence settled between us, soft and final. "I want you to be happy," she whispered. "Even if it's not with me." "I am," I replied gently. She closed her eyes, pain flickering across her face. "I should have chosen you when I had the chance. It would have ruined us both," I said softly. "Some things aren't meant to be fixed." She breathed shakily, nodding. "You deserve love, Michael. The kind I never gave you." "I know," I said quietly. "And for once, I believe that." We exchanged a final look, two people who shared a past, but not a future. As I walked away, dog trotting beside me, the river glimmering under the morning sun, I felt something warm spread through my chest. Not victory. Not revenge. Just peace. Sometimes the best endings are the ones where you walk away whole.